Okay, so here was shots 1, 2, 3. Well, not, was it 1, 2, 3? It was, wait, 1, 2, it was 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
Right? That shot's 3, 4, 5 with factory ammo, right?
Right.
Pretty dang good. Okay, this is 180 grain burger VLD. 180 grain burger VLD, hand load, max soft seat jam. So no load work, right? Holy cow. So now we talked about it, and so the guy who owns this gun, you can blame Vicky because she said shoot him. So I'm going to shoot at least 3 of these 184s, and I'm going to shoot at least 3 of these 190s just to see. But I mean, that's the limit of my ability to shoot a 7 mag. I mean, that's not a light gun, but it's certainly not a heavy gun. So all right, we're going to go ahead and shoot it. All right, is that camera running?
It is.
All right. Here, you need to get this information on this target.
Yes.
Here it is right here.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the 184 hybrid targets. I had good luck with these before. I've only ever shot them a couple times. All right, so the camera's running down there?
It is.
Okay, 184 burgers. $28.61. Touching. That's weird. 29.34. Another little clover leaf, not quite as small. 2,900. Holy cow. Holy cow. Well, I'm not going to shoot the last 2. There's no reason. So I'll go next to that. You notice too, I didn't clean the gun. I just shot it. So you need to change the target. Okay, this is those.
Okay.
Holy cow. That's hard to believe. It's just a hair bigger than that one right there.
Huh.
I mean, it's just a little clover leaf. Run down, please, and change that target. If it shoots those 190s like that, is that camera still running?
Yes.
Yes or no?
It is.
If that camera's still running, if it shoots those 190s like that, I'm going to ask the guy to buy the gun off of him. No joke. Okay, so look at this. So that was shots 3, 4, 5, factory ammo, 168, right? 168. This is hand load, 180 grain VLD. I mean, look at that. This is hand load 184s, right?
Correct.
If it shoots these 190s into a group that small or smaller, so a 168, a 180, a 184, and a 190, I'm going to try to buy this gun off of that guy. Here's something people do not understand. It's the barrel, okay? Assuming that all else is equal, which it never is, but assuming it is, all else is equal. The gun is built to perfection. This is one of my Collis scopes. You've got, in other words, you have super high quality glass. You have a rail that has a recoil shoulder and that it has 6 screws. Everything is right. The whole gun is right. So assuming everything else is equal, if this puts these in one little clover leaf, it's the barrel. Now, I try to impress that upon people, but it seems like it doesn't get through. So, just because you pay someone to build a high-end custom gun, the one thing they don't have control over besides buying it, I mean, they can buy a Krieger, they can buy a Bartlein, they can buy a Brooks, whatever they want to buy, a Hart. I have Hart barrels from years ago that hammer. They get whatever barrel shows up at the door. Okay, then they build the gun to the absolute highest standard they can possibly build it. Then they never take them out and shoot them, but we take them out and shoot them. The difference between one that shoots 1/4 of an inch and one that shoots 3/4 of an inch is the barrel, assuming everything else is equal. And in your whole lifetime, you only get, if you're really lucky, 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4, because I'm into like, we're over 300 barrels, right? Approximately. Yeah. Somewhere in that range. I've only, out of 300 barrels, I've only saw, what do you think, 20 or 25 that were just like phenomenal. Like they couldn't be any better. So the odds of getting an absolutely world-class record-setting barrel aren't that good. Not really. And that's assuming, like I said, that all else is equal, which it usually isn't. There's so many other factors. But if this puts these 190s in the same little bug hole, this is a once-in-a-lifetime rifle. And it's the barrel. Yes, obviously everything else about it has to be perfect, but if it does that, it's the barrel. So all the credit doesn't go to the person who built the gun. It goes to the barrel maker. All right, here we go. Is the camera running?
It is. Don't choke. Ears on.
$28.95. And by the way, I just got to say something right there. So that's 2,900 feet a second. 2,900 feet a second with a 190 grain bullet, and there's no pressure here whatsoever. If I'd call this a mild load. So all those people that think, oh, 7 PRC, 7 PRC, a 7 mag built properly, set up properly, kicks the living crap out of a 7 PRC. What a joke. In the zeros. Yeah. Are you sure that camera's on down there?
Yes.
Oh my God. By the way, the number was exactly 2,900. I'm going to try and buy this gun off of this guy. The group's probably less than 3/10 of an inch. And that chronograph reading was 28.97. So tell them, Vicki, what was the 3 numbers?
28.95, 2,900, 28.97.
Oh my God. So... well, before I talk, go down there and get that target. We'll lay all the targets out. But what you got to understand now is this literally is once or twice in a lifetime, because it shoots 168s, 180s, 184s, 190s to the exact same point of impact through the same hole. Okay, so this is literally just about amazing. So again, this is a 7 mag. That's a Brooks barrel, a Remington 700 right-hand stainless receiver that I blueprinted, a Holland lug, aftermarket, that's a PTG, pin, spring, cocking piece, shroud, a jewel trigger, Badger rail. This is an HS Precision stock that I obviously bedded. Anyways, I want you to look at this now so that we can actually see this. Here, look. Okay, so that is 168 grain Federal factory ammo. All right, this is 180 grain Berger VLD. Look at that. All right, this is 184 grain Berger hybrid target, right? This is 109, look at this, 190 grain. 190 grain going 2,900 feet a second with no pressure whatsoever. I'll bet you could bump that up to, I don't know if you get to 31, but you go over 3,000 easily. A 190 going 3,000 feet a second into a ragged hole. Look at that. So just show them all them. So I'm really not joking. I'm going to call this guy and I'm going to say to him, I'll refund all the, whatever the fee was. Vicky does the invoices. Whatever we charged him to do all of this, I'll refund that. And then I'm going to ask him how much he wants for this rifle. And I'm going to tell you, a gun that'll shoot 1, 2, 3, 4 different bullets all into ragged hole like that, I mean, it's just amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely done with that. I'm actually glad I'm done with that. I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack trying to do this kind of stuff, because you got to realize, you know how hard it is to shoot, even if the gun's capable of that. Do you know how hard it is to shoot groups that small with a 7 mag? It's very, very difficult. Okay, again, I've said this many times. I am not a professional bench press shooter. Okay, but I'm going to be done. I'm going to clean this, and then I don't know whether I'm going back to that 6.5 284 or not. If I have cell service here, I might call him and ask him whether he wants me to, because again, some guys really want to do their own load work. And some guys are like, absolutely, they don't want to do it. I will just say one thing. I really wish that this had been a package gun. In other words, the rifle, the rings, the scope, the whole deal, because I would have zeroed it up and it would be done. In other words, when you get one this good, this is actually a quote from Daryl Holland, I think. It's funny because we just mentioned Daryl Holland lugs. I think he said, I treat my guns like nitroglycerin. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When you get one that shoots like that, you don't do anything to it. You leave it exactly the way it was, and you protect that thing like it's a Fabergé egg. You just, because this, in a 7 mag hunting gun, is extremely rare. And so again, Brooks barrel, that has to be the deal. Oh, and by the way, so, guys are always, they want light guns. So this barrel was, I think, inch 300 or inch 325 at the breech, and it was like 750 at the muzzle. So it is not a light barrel. If you really want guns to shoot, you go heavier barrels, not lighter. All right, so we have to decide what we're going to do about that. I'm going to call him, and we have to decide what we're going to do about that 6.5 284.
shot one of the most accurate guns we ever shot, and my mom's coming, and she's gonna tell you this. Don't we all agree that it's awesome? Good. We all agree that it's awesome. He's gonna try to buy off of the other camera and all that. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. I hope you got that. Well, it's a pretty nice day. Saw turkeys on the way here. Alright. Bye.
Okay, so I talked to the customer that owns the 6.5 and of course the very first thing I told him about is his brother's amazing 7 mag, and he's like, oh, yeah. You can tell he's like, well, how does mine shoot? And I'm like, not as good. Oh, well, and the other deal is the one brother that has the 7 mag doesn't even hand load. The older brother is the guy who does all the hand loading. So, you know, somehow that's how these things work out. But I said to him, do you want us to do seating depth work or not? And he said, well, if you have the time, go ahead and do it. So we cleaned the gun again. I already put a fouling shot in the dirt. We pulled these bullets. We're going to use we looked at the targets. We're going to use the Berger 153.5. We pulled them back 6 thousandths from where I was shooting them before, right? 6 thousandths. I'm asking Vicki because this stuff's getting hard to keep track of. So I'm going to shoot. I only loaded 2. I got the press set up. When you walk away, show them what we got over there. I'm only going to shoot 2 to begin with. So unless they go right together, I'll go back and move them again. In other words, I'm not going to fire a whole bunch of shells. Like, I'm not going to do 5-shot groups every single time I move the seating depth. I'll be able to tell whether we're gaining on it or losing on it. I'll be able to tell. Anyways, that was convoluted, but here we go. .2733. And so here's something else I'm going to do. I'm not going to shoot it hot. This got quite a bit smaller diameter barrel than that 7 mag. And I'm wondering if I was shooting it too hot. The other thing is that Brooks barrel was cryoed, which we really don't do it much anymore. This barrel came from Bruno's Shooter Supply. It was not cryoed. So we got everything set up here. The original measurement was 3.570 on my comparator. Notice on all my notes, I say my comparator. What's it called? Obviously because not everybody's is the same. But right now, look. So the customer can see. We're shooting at 3.564. So we pulled it back 6 thou. And I'm only loading, I'm going to go slower. I'm going to load 1, shoot it. Load 1, shoot it. Oh, and by the way, there was another reason that the customer said go ahead and do seating depth work. This is a hunting gun, and he said he doesn't want the bullets jammed in the rifling. Well, I can understand his thought process, but I often, most of the time, because I'm shooting burgers, my hunting guns have the bullet jammed. Now, can you stick a bullet? Yes, you can. But in our backpack, and I've mentioned this before, I carry a 224 bullet, a 6mm bullet, a 6.5, a 7, a 30, and I think a 338, all of whatever is the heaviest bullet for that diameter. If you stick a bullet, say you open your bolt, you stick a bullet, right? Keep the gun pointed vertical so you don't dump powder everywhere. But let's just say that it's a 30 Nosler and you stick a bullet. All you do is take your big 7mm bullet, stand the gun vertical, drop the bullet base first down the barrel. Usually one drop, it'll knock that other bullet out, but sometimes 2 or 3. But the point is, don't try to stick anything down in there unless you happen to be packing a cleaning rod around with you. But in the mountains, you're not. All you got to do is have them bullets, drop it down the barrel, it'll knock it right out. So I often hunt at max soft seat jam because lots of times that's where they shoot the best. I would rather have the accuracy. Now he's like, I don't want a bullet jam. So obviously we're moving back right now. If we get really lucky and it shoots really small groups, it won't be jumping, almost never. It'll be somewhere between jam and just touching. That's with burgers, that's almost always where the very best accuracy will be. I do not like to jump a bullet, but if you recall, when we shot that factory ammo, that's jumping about 150 thou, and it shot pretty good. Anyways, all right, here goes one. Touching. 2665. Are you still running that camera?
Yes.
Is it running? Show it here. So obviously too, this is a mild load. So, you know, we're not doing, here, look, you can see now. All these cases have powder in them. But I did it in the reloading room with my Sartorius scale. So they're like to the kernel. I don't have any way out here to increase powder charge, but these aren't going very fast. So if we find the seating depth, then he can go back and add half a grain, another half a grain, and figure out where max is. Since we started, there's a thermometer on the wall. It was about 55 degrees when we started, and it's about 75 degrees right now. Wow. Bug hole.
Nice.
2705. And so all we did was move them 6 thou. 6 thou. And I got a little wee bug hole down there. But you also notice that I waited between the shots. I'm wondering if I was running this gun too hard when I was initially shooting it, because it was cool out and I wasn't thinking it's generating heat. I reached up and touched the barrel. It was fairly hot. That is one of the issues with 6.5 284. It generates heat. I don't know why. And it's a weird thing. And they're somewhat known to be hard on barrels. But right now down there, that's easily, I bet it's a little over 2/10. And so, you know, what do? Do I load more? Do I shoot more? I mean, we moved it back 6 thousandths. We got a really small group. I'm inclined to quit and seat all of them. I won't even mess with anything. I'll go over there right now. I'll seat those exact bullets in those exact cases, leave everything set, and then I'll send it to the customer. And if he wants to, when you get that, then you start moving. Instead of moving 5 or 6 thou to jump, you move 1 or 2 thou. And people are like, well, does 1 thou, seating depth, 1 thou either way, does it matter? No, not if all you want to shoot's 1/2 inch. But if you want to shoot 1/4 of an inch, or in the 2s, low 2s, or the 1s, 1 thou can be huge. It really can. And to get down to that absolute, literal, ragged bug hole. So I think I'm going to, maybe she's going to get down there and show you that for sure. And then maybe we'll film just going over there and seating all them bullets. I'm calling it good. I'm going to clean this gun again, take the scope off. These things are going to South Dakota. All right, so I think that's it. Also, most certainly that's it for this video. I have, though, a Bruce Bear gun that Bruce Bear built for me. Well, it was originally a 308 Winchester. This is a red pad 308, Ruger M77, red pad. I've had it, I bought it brand new. I was probably only 20 years old. So it's like 43, 45 years old, somewhere in there. I shot that gun out. And I had Bruce Bear rebarrel it with a Hart barrel. I mean, we're talking like 30 years ago. And long before I ever did this, all I was doing was bedding guns, mountain scopes, stuff like that. That gun always shot really good. And we were going coyote hunting this fall for quite a long time. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to just go and do everything I can do to that gun to see how much more accuracy I can get out of it. Because it was half inch gun. And so I rebedded it. I put a Timony replacement trigger, which, you know what? That's a nightmare in a Ruger M77. It wasn't worth it. It was a pain in the butt. A lot of work to get that thing to function right. Anyways, I rebedded it. I think I crowned it. I don't know. I Duracoated it. I did a bunch of stuff to it. And we're going to shoot it again. And that might be for another video. So, but we're going to try to get that done today. Anyways, these two guns, that gun is amazing. This gun is probably going to be amazing. Wait till she shows you that group that I just fired. Anyways, I'd say that's it. See you later.